Hi, and welcome to Paper Route Scrapbooking. I'm Nadine, and today I'm turning some scraps into embellishments. Okay, so I am excited to be participating in this next mini swap over on Ginger's Corner, and it is called May the 4th Mini Swap. May the 4th be with you is a common term by Star Wars fans. A play on May the Force be with you. So on May the 4th, Star Wars fans like to celebrate their fandom. So we are doing anything to do with Star Wars or space for this mini swap. So even if you did like stars and the moon or a rocket ship or anything like that. But I happen to have these old SVGs that I downloaded many years ago when I first got started with SVGs. I did go to the website where I got these from, but it is no longer in existence, so unfortunately I can't leave a link. I also tried to find the creator online somewhere else, but I did not find them. Anyway, so yeah, but I do have these saved in my computer, and so I thought I'm going to go ahead and make a few of them. So I thought this would be a fun one for May the 4th, and I'm going to make these little cuties versions of Star Wars characters. So we have Yoda in the middle, and then we have C-3PO and R2-D2, a couple of the robots from the series. And I figured even if, people aren't super fans of Star Wars and they participate in the swap, it never hurts to have an alien or a couple of robots in your stash, right? So I'm going to go ahead and so I did a couple of samples to make sure that the SVGs worked, because sometimes when you go to use an SVG that's been on your computer for a while and you haven't tried it out, sometimes they don't cut very cleanly. So I did give it a whirl and they all worked very well. I am going to make 4 sets of these little characters for our swaps. There's usually 4 people on a team, 5 including the captain. So I'm going to keep 1 set for myself and send the other 4 to my teammates. So I am going to pause the camera, set up my Cricut mats, run all the cuts through my Cricut, and then I'll come back and assemble some of them together with you. All right, so hang on, I'll be right back. All right, so I ran my cardstock scraps through the Cricut, got a bunch of pieces ready to go and assemble into some cute little kind of cutesy version of the Star Wars characters that I chose. So we will start with making an R2-D2. So here is my sample one, and here is a scrap paper that I'm just going to use for gluing on so that I don't make a big old mess on my desk. And this is the base of R2-D2. I'm sorry, I'm having like throat issues today, and I've tried restarting this like several times, but it just keeps coming back as I talk. Okay, so I think I'm going to start at the top maybe. So we'll start with this guy, and it has this piece with it. And I cut 4 of everything because I want to give 1 of each to my swapping friends, even though I really only have to send them 1. Where did I put my tweezers? They're there. My glue. I thought it might be fun. I always like to do things in a way that I would like to receive them. So I always think like 3 is a good number of embellishments on a page kind of a thing. So I think that would be fun. And I think these guys are super cute, so I do want to share them. So this swap, I feel like some people might not want to participate because they're going to be like, uh-oh, I don't know anything about Star Wars. I've never watched those movies. I don't read those stories, whatever. So, I mean, there's the obvious people who are going to participate that have, always loved the movies, or their family members have loved the movies and they want to make a layout about that. Or if they have been to Disneyland since they've built that well, even before that, I know in Disney World they've had Star Wars stuff for a long time. Disneyland now has a Star Wars area as well. Space Mountain has always had a little bit of a Star Wars theme to it. And I just think that if it's something that people are like, I don't know if I want to do that, right? I think that you need to also be aware that it doesn't hurt to just have some cute little robots on your layout, because these guys are super cute. What other things could we scrapbook about? Like, what other layouts might these guys go on? So for me, I think, oh, you know what I forgot I did? I cut a little, hang on, an outline piece that kind of came with the SVG, but I forgot I had it. And I just cut one because I wasn't going to add it to here. Okay. So that's just going to help me space these things out. See where the pieces belong on the background piece. So I was thinking, when I think about the story of Star Wars, I think about good and evil for sure, because the whole like Jedi versus the dark side, right? So if you were gonna scrapbook about good and evil, this would be a good place to, although I'm only making good characters because I didn't I mean, I could make that would be a fun way to do it, right? Is to have a good guy and a bad guy on your layout. I also think about things like space, obviously, space travel, what we thought maybe space travel could be like. What might space travel be like in the future? You know, that sort of thing. I feel like exploring other planets, life on other planets, that sort of thing has always been like something that people talk about. I also think about, there's like certain quotes and stuff from the movie that people tend to repeat, even if you're not a Star Wars fan. Like, I think most people have heard the saying that when Darth Vader says, "Luke, I am your father," kind of a thing, and he finds out that inside of that creepy bad guy is actually Anakin. So there's that. You know, family sort of thing present in the movies as well. Sci-fi, anything sci-fi. Star Wars is easily recognizable as a science fiction story. So I feel like that would be, if you were going to talk about like your love of reading sci-fi novels or your love of watching sci-fi movies, I feel like these guys are definitely a recognizable bunch of characters from those kinds of shows. Dystopian societies too, right? Because it's kind of like, well, although it's futuristic, they're also saying like basically the bad guys are ruling, right? So anyways, I just think that Star Wars can be about a whole bunch of different things. And like the what do you call it? Description of this swap says, it can be anything to do with space. So even like I'm assuming some people are just going to do like stars and moons and planets and that sort of thing. So there he is. There's our little R2-D2 all put together. How cute is he? Isn't that awesome? Oh, I forgot the little red button thingy that goes here. And it is so super tiny. When I cut these out, I was like, should I just like use a marker? But no, I like it. I like how it looks on there. There we go. R2-D2. All right, let's do Yoda. So I had a few different colors of green paper for scraps, nothing big enough to do all four at once. So I just put them kind of around into the corners of my mat. So like, if this is my Cricut mat and I have scraps big enough to do one, but not scraps big enough to do four, I'll put one scrap here, one scrap here, one scrap here, one scrap here. And then on the design space, I can manipulate them to go into the parts of the mat where I want them to cut. So that's kind of how I did that. I maybe should have shown that. That would have been a good little tip to share. Now this one also had, I believe, yes it did, a little template thing. And I think this is actually meant to go on top, but I only cut one when I did my sample, and then I kind of silenced that one. There's like a little eyeball that you can close the eye, and it closes once you close the eye, it doesn't cut that part. It doesn't show it on your screen anymore either. So that's all I did when I cut out the rest of these, just to save on some black cardstock, because I don't think that having this on top is going to make a big difference. But I do like that it shows me where to put all the things. And C3PO didn't even have one, so I'm just worried about getting glue under there and then it not coming up. There we go. So this is our little Yoda. Yoda in the story is the Jedi Master. He is a little alien dude who is very wise, very old, very knowledgeable. If you are familiar with the Netflix series The Mandalorian, the child version of this little character is present in that story. So Star Wars has really come a long way since my childhood. In my childhood, it was a series of books and 3 movies kind of the later books. You know who I should have done for this is the Ewoks. Oh my gosh, they were my fave. Did anybody else love the Ewoks when they were young? They were, I just really, I thought they were so cute. And now I'm remembering all of like the things we used to repeat to each other. My family is very nerdy. My brother and my cousins, a couple of my cousins that we grew up in pretty close proximity. My mom's sister was a single parent, and so our cousins were around a lot. They sometimes lived with us. They sometimes lived with grandma and grandpa, where we spent a lot of our time. And we just grew up in very close proximity with those two. And we tend to like talk in parts of our conversation. Other people will look at us and think that we've lost our marbles, but it's usually because we're talking in movie quotes. And Star Wars was definitely one of those movies that we used to use. Princess Bride was another big one. Never Ending Story. But yeah, we're big movie nerds over there. And honestly, I'm not even as big of a movie nerd as I would say probably my brother and my other cousin, the oldest. So they had a boy and a girl too. The girl was oldest and I was oldest. So the sister on that side and my brother are the bigger movie nerds than me and my other cousin. But we definitely, I guess in order to keep up, needed to know what all the quotes meant and still say them to each other. When Disney Plus became a thing, we were pretty excited to go back and watch a bunch of movies that we used to watch on VHS, but they had been like recorded off the TV. We were not the family that afforded to buy all the VHS tapes, but we would like find our favorite movie on TV and record it, commercials and all. So that's how we watched our repeated movies back in the day. How's that for a story? Maybe I should scrapbook that story about having to not even being able to afford to go to the movie store and just recording things on VHS tapes right from the TV so that we could watch them over and over again. My brother is an actor and he has to gain and lose weight based on whatever the director tells him. And so sometimes I like to tease him about how his look changes basically every time I see him. He looks different. But one day I'd been showing one of my kids the what was it called? It's not the Never-Ending Story. Flight of the Navigator, which was kind of not like the most popular movie. So here's little Yoda or Mandalorian, depending on where you want to go with that. But isn't he so cute? And these are super easy little ones to put together too. So there we go. A couple of those guys. Now I'm going to do C-3PO. He doesn't have one of these like map thingies. So here's my sample guy. I'm just going to move this kind of out of my way. Okay, and here's my background for C-3PO. So anyways, I was just going to say, I like to tease my brother about his change in look all the time. And one day I was... had been watching Flight of the Navigator with one of my kids. I was showing them that movie because it was one of our favorites when me and my brother were growing up. And they were, let's just say, less than impressed. Because, of course, special effects and that sort of thing have come such a long way since the 80s. But anyway, I loved it. And it just reminded me of some of the things we used to say to each other. And so we ran into each other and we were kind of making jokes about, like, eating junk food and how sometimes it's okay to eat junk food and sometimes it's not. And so I patted my brother on the stomach and said, "Hey, Lordo, too many Twinkies." And it's like a quote from that movie. And he's like, "Oh my gosh, I haven't thought about that one in forever." And so we were just getting some good laughs over that. So scrapbooking about your childhood movies is also a very good idea for stuff like this that seems so specific, but then also like I know I have a photo somewhere too of taking my kids to what are those things called, maker fair, where it's like people who create things. So there was everything from like fabrics, specialty fabrics being created to like specialty robots being created. And somebody had made a moving, beeping replica of R2-D2 that was like to scale and everything, which was super cool. And so I have a picture of that somewhere too. So if you've ever seen that sort of a thing or at like a science center, those are pretty cool. This little guy too is super genius. So this guy is like, you're basically like walking Google, right? So he has all the answers to all the things, but that was before Google was a thing. So it was more like a, what would we have said back then? Walking encyclopedia, maybe? So if you were doing a layout about like somebody in your family being super smart, you know, graduating from a difficult college program or getting like top honors, this guy would be a good little character to add to that page. I chose, by the way, I was going to show you guys too, I chose this particular yellow paper because it has a shimmer to it, and it, I don't even know, can you see that? Probably not. Anyway, it's shimmery but not metallic, so it doesn't like reflect. So I thought this would be a good one for C-3PO, because he was definitely made of like bronze kind of colored metal, bronzy gold. And I think this little character of him is so funny because he's actually quite like tall and lanky. I didn't grab his hands. So it's kind of cute to see him all squished down into a cutie. But yeah, I do really like these little characters, and I wish I could send you to where I found these SVGs, but like I said, it was many, many years ago when I first started exploring SVG files, and I just downloaded a ton. And when I went to look her up, because I did remember where I got it from, like I said, her website was no longer there. And then I tried to find that same creator online and came up empty. So unfortunately, I can't send you in that direction, but I sure am glad that I have them. They're very cute. And I have not just these 3 guys, but like, I don't know, maybe a dozen different characters from Star Wars. So when I head to Disney next, because it's been a long time since I've been to Disney. My family was there last year, but I had just started a new job and ended up not being able to go. Or no, I was just leaving one job and starting a new one. I think I hadn't quite left my other job yet. But my husband and I are going to go just for a weekend and we're in Canada, so that's no small thing. We have to like fly there and get a hotel and stuff. But we're going to go in September. Just the 2 of us. No kids. No other family, no friends. Just the 2 of us. Should be fun. We're also going to go see Pink. So that's kind of cool. Yeah. So I'm looking forward. It'll be my first time seeing the Star Wars area in Disneyland, because I haven't been there since when was the last time I was there? It's got to be 10 years or more. 2014 maybe. So yeah, more than 10 years. And then I know Universal Studios has a whole bunch of stuff now that they never used to have either, like a Harry Potter area, and I think like, what did the kids say they saw last time? Super Mario Brothers or something? And that was from, I mean, I know my grandson loves it too, but I used to play Super Mario Brothers. My brother and I, we had a Nintendo, like the original Nintendo. And knew all the warps and the things that would get you through to the other places. Sneaking around Mario Land. I played number 1 and number 3. I never really got into the second version of that game. And that was really the only like move around the screen kind of one. I used to prefer like Tetris and that sort of thing. Okay, so here's my little C-3PO. And I'm just going to, after I turn off the camera, I will just keep making with these guys. I'm also going to grab a white pen and write my name on the back and which swap it was. So this is May the 4th. And I do this because I like to know when I'm using them, like especially if I'm sharing them with others, I like to say who made me this little character, creature, embellishment, tag, whatever the case may be. So this is May the 4th. Oh, that is not going to work. This one? Will this one work? I swear I just bought a new one. What? Maybe it's not in the... Maybe I didn't put it away. What's happening? Nope. Oh, also not helpful. Okay. Maybe I'm just not being patient enough. What's happening here? Jelly roll. Don't let me down now. These are always my favorite white pens, but like literally none of them are working right now. I thought too, because I was storing them close to my window, that maybe they were getting like icky inside. I also have, and my Vicky Bouton markers. They will also write on black. There we go. Need to get me some new jelly rollers. And May the 4th. All right, so that is what I like to do so that everybody who gets my swaps also knows which ones were made by me, and hopefully everybody does that so we can know who made what for us, because I really do like to know. If you're interested, head over to Ginger's Corner. Sign up for May the 4th. Swap is on May 5th, and the mailing day is May 10th. So you have 10 days, or sorry, 10 days. You have 5 days in between to get your embellishments made, and I hope some of you will come and join us. We have swaps in Canada, the US, parts of the UK, and also in Australia now, which is super exciting. So if you are interested, definitely come and join us. It's a lot of fun. There's no wrong way. Everybody is very kind and generous and caring, and we like to see all different levels participating. So I think that's it for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Please go check out the other ladies in this hop who are also making embellishments from their scraps in the space theme for May the 4th, and see what they've created, because it's always a good idea too to have some kind of idea of what you're going to make with your scraps of cardstock. I don't like to throw our expensive papers into the recycling bin until they're all used up, so it's super fun for me to do these kinds of things. Yeah, I think that's it for today. Thanks so much everybody for hanging out with me. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below and I'll get back to you just as soon as I can. Have a great day, everyone. Bye for now.